The Glock series of pistols is an excellent choice by all means by those that are considering it for concealed carry purposes, open carry purposes, or law enforcement officers that carry it as a duty handgun. The Glock pistol basically sets the standard for handguns like the Remington 870 and the Mossberg 500 set the standard for shotguns. And I'm a big fan of Glock pistols, but today we're going to widen our spectrum a little bit, take a look at what other great companies have provided us and what they believe is better than the Glock, of course. And today we're going to look at the Springfield Armory XD chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson. And this is basically my service pistol of choice. And I'm going to talk about it and why I believe it excels the Glock in the service pistol, i.e. open carry or police work, where the Glock, I believe, rocks the concealed carry backup pistol. That's what I think. First, I want to get going by saying I have had a lot of trigger time with the Springfield XD series of pistols. The 9mm version and the XDM and the XD40. A lot of trigger time. I've had a total riot shooting these guns. These guns are very good guns, and let me tell you, they are very different than the Glock. But really, I'm going to compare this up against the Glock 19 and shootability and why I picked it as my standard. There is a huge con, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later after I get going with why I picked it as service, is the finish. The finish on the normal XD series of pistols sucks. It just plain sucks. You put this in a Blackhawk Serpa holster or leather holster, this gets total wear, whereas a Glock is very, very resistant to holster wear. It's much harder, or I don't know really what it is, but the finish is not nearly as good as a Glock. Now the XDM series of pistols, I believe, has fixed this problem. And you can basically take those through hell, as far as I know. I haven't really tested the XDM series as much or as thoroughly as the XD. So that's why I'm going to throw the XD in front of the camera for reviewing purposes. It holds 12 rounds of .40 Smith, which basically sucks, but you know, you get the good grip angle, which rocks. And 12 rounds should do it. If not, get your shotgun. Alright, so let's get going. The trigger. We are safe, and I shot this gun about twice as fast as I could shoot a XD or a Glock. Man, I'm getting these names mixed up. And the trigger is basically half the reason why I believe I shot it better. And the trigger just rocks. It's superior to a Glock, and anybody who tells you different has maybe a safety issue in mind where they think, oh, I just want a longer trigger pull because it's safer. Well, if it's in a holster that secures your trigger guard, meaning you can't get to the trigger guard, it really doesn't matter. Right? Yes, that's right. Okay, so this is a service holster, a service pistol. It's in a very good holster. The trigger is, you know, safe and accuracy. So I just want to show you the trigger time. Travel. There's the travel, right there. It's just basically non-existent. And the actual trigger pull, nothing. It's basically half of what a Glock is, which makes this pistol rock. I mean, it's just amazing. Let me show you that again. I'm just so pumped about this trigger. Look at that. Woo! That's amazing. And so the trigger just rocks on the XD pistol and the XDM. It's just amazing. It's if you line up your sights with this hold and you got a 6 o'clock hold, you will not mess with this trigger in self-defense situations. We're talking 21 feet, guys. We're not. I don't take my pistols out to 30 yards and shoot them. A handgun was designed for up close and personal. I'll get my rifle if I want to go farther than that. In you know, good situations. Of course, it's always great to, you know, say you can do that distance, of course. Okay, so I was talking about sights. This is a big valid complaint, but I don't think it's very valid because I believe this is the other half of the story. This is half of why I shot it better, and the other half is the sights. And this ties into the barrel axis. A lot of shooters complain the barrel is just too high up off the frame, I get too much recoil. Well, if you know how to shoot, recoil is not an option. If you know how to shoot, you got the, you know, you're holding the gun right, you've shot a lot, you've got experience, you shall have no problem shooting a 9mm all the way to 45. No problem whatsoever. If you have a problem, you're an inexperienced shooter. In my experience, that's just how it boils down, guys. Sorry. Let's set aside female shooters. You know, they might have smaller hands. They just can't hold on to the gun properly. Okay, so the barrel axis. I guess Springfield claims that when you pick up this gun and you set your frame, your sights automatically or have a higher tendency just to go right to there. With other pistols, they claim you kind of do this number and then you adjust. With a Springfield XD, because the barrel axis is higher, and which means like SIG pistols, they're higher in your hand, they sit higher, you have a more natural aim. Whereas, you know, you don't have to you draw, you aim, and then you adjust, right? So basically, you know, I think it helps. I mean, I'm faster. I've been testing this with the Glock, and I believe it is easier to get a proper sight picture with the Springfield XD because it sits higher. You know, you're just going to have to try it out for yourself. Alright, let's see. Which, here's another con that some shooters have talked about. You'll see here, the feed ramp, where your bullets actually go into the chamber, is actually kind of two pieces, and I'll shake the barrel here, where you can see that because this barrel is higher, it sits higher off of the frame. So you actually, you know, I've heard some people, they get down there and they file that down because they don't want to have a feeding problem. Well, I haven't really had any problem with it, and I like that higher barrel axis. I mean, it's not, if you know how to shoot, I mean, sure, I love shooting 40 and 45. I love the recoil. It's fun to shoot. But follow-up shots, I mean, I shoot it twice as fast with the Glock, even though it has a, you know, higher barrel access and you know, a trigger that's not as safe. It's a training issue. Now, if you're inexperienced, you're used to revolvers, you pick this up, and you're more than likely to have it pop off you when you're not ready because you're used to that long double action pull. This is a training issue, okay? Even with the Glock, it's a training issue. But naturally, I had my shooting instructor pick this gun up next to a Glock 19, and guess which gun he shot better? This is a natural grip angle. You pick this up, it feels natural. You don't have to adjust. With the Glock, you have to train. You have to shoot a Glock like a Glock's supposed to be shot. But if you pick this gun up, you can't miss. It feels natural. Okay, this trigger is for dummies. You can't mess it up. Okay? Alright, so let's get to the con. Why I did not actually pick this as my service pistol. Well, it's not the, you know, this gun, or it actually is this gun. I love the XD pistols. Most likely when I have my law enforcement officer badge, I will be carrying an XD or a Glock 17. So deciding, but the finish on this sucks. Okay, you stick this in a Blackhawk Serpo holster, it's going to wear here, it's going to wear here, and it's going to wear all the way down. Okay, it's just, you can't avoid that. The finish on this sucks. I have a friend take one to Florida, got salt water on it, guess what? His finish turned to orange, and he had to sand it off, and basically he has a stainless steel XD now. This finish is terrible. Now, I do believe that the XDM series of pistols has corrected this, and you will look, if you compare the two, one is grayish like this is the older XD, this finish sucks, and the XDM is very black. Now, when you pick your service pistol, you want to have a melanite finish or a tenifer finish, basically the same thing, just different names, which means it resists rust, and it resists salt water. Okay, salt water is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for salt. And when you get sweat, you're basically putting salt all over your gun. And trust me, guys, when it's a service pistol, if you're carrying it, it's not going to be clean all the time, at least in my experience. So, what kind of groups does this gun shoot? It's a service pistol. Like I said, I shoot it better than a Glock. And I'm a shooting instructor. But I do have a shooting instructor that I do look up to, and he's over me. And he shot it very well. Tight groups, adequate groups, definitely. It's a great gun. Love that insignia there. I'm gonna have to get a bunch of shirts that say that, or just it's just so cool looking. I love it. So, as it is, this is the Springfield XD40. It is a very good, very good service pistol, very high quality. And like I said, it does have the rails, the subcompact, and the full-size rails set up for you to use if you want. Put a laser on there, whatnot. Comes with a holster and, you know, the mag loader. You could just, you know, there's millions of. Basically, that's what I wanted to say. This is stuff I don't find on YouTube. Like I said, the Magnum channel is all about getting info and data points, if you must say, about stuff that I just don't find on the internet that I want to know as a person. Like I said, I will put, you know, holster wear, because I'm sure some people like to know what holster will put what wear on their gun. Because I'm all about looks. That's why the XD looks awesome. Looks better than a Glock. Doesn't it? Alright guys, stay safe and loaded.